Hello and welcome back to my channel, Thrifty Day. My name is Leah. I'm the creator behind Thrifty Day. Today's episode is very special. I have a new personal journal that I can't wait to share with you. I really was excited for a change, especially now that the weather is finally getting cooler. So I created this autumn-themed journal that features mushrooms and butterflies, and I am super excited to begin creating in it. Today, I just wanted to show you a peek into my new personal journal. I do have a complete tutorial coming showing exactly how I made this journal. And then I have another tutorial coming showing exactly how I make the removable charm. I am still working on those videos, but they should be posted very soon. So be sure to like this video, save it so you can come back and you know exactly where to jump in if you were looking to make a journal similar to this one. So now let's get into this journal. Let me just start by showing you a little bit of the cover. This was upcycled from a vintage book. This book was actually literally in a basket at a used bookstore headed for the trash can. So I was so excited to give it new life as my new personal journal. This has 3 signatures. I didn't stuff it with a lot of pages because I actually only need this journal to last right up until Christmas. And so I thought I would just make sort of a more compact version of what I usually create in. And all of the pages in here are vintage except for some of the cardstock pockets that I made. All of my journals always have a removable charm. I'm getting ahead of myself. I like all of my charms to be removable. Ever since I started making journals, I've always made them removable because I love for my journal charms to tell a story, which means they are going to be big and chunky and have lots of little odds and ends on them. So with that in mind, I do like to be able to remove it so that it's not, it doesn't hinder my creative process while I'm in my junk journal. So this is the removable charm I made. Like I said, I do have a tutorial coming, so stay tuned for that. I used a whole variety of beads and other little pieces that sort of are reminiscent of where I felt and how I created this journal. So one was this little vial that I put a little mushroom in. I thought that was really sweet. There's some moss in there. This is just a piece of junk jewelry. My mother-in-law actually recently bought over a whole bag of jewelry that she was just sort of going to donate, and instead she thought of me, and I thought that was beautiful. And so I just stuck it right on my charm. This is a vintage spoon. I found this at a really cool estate sale that my husband and I went to last year, and I've always hung on to it. It was $1. I actually still have the little tag. It was just here somewhere. Let me see. This little tag says it was $1. I'm actually going to put this in the journal. So that was kind of reminiscent of those treasure hunting moments. This is a stamp from a really fun yard sale I just went to. She had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stamps for sale here at this yard sale. This was just one of them. If you are on TikTok or on my Patreon, I think I did like a whole look into what I found. Her name was Sandy. She had recently passed away, and her friends totally organized all of her stamps and craft supplies to sell to help support her husband get through this difficult time. So I actually was able to talk to a lot of them. They were really sweet. So ladybugs are very special to me because my daughter Lizzie and I love ladybugs. We always have since she was a little baby. So ladybugs always make me think of her. And this will also always make me think of Sandy and the kindness of her friends. So that's another little bit to this charm. And then I hand painted these little toadstools last year. This was just a extra one. So that was fun to have a little bit of my hand painted work on there. So that is my removable charm. The rest are just really beautiful, cohesive, sort of fall vibe beads. So I will just put this right over here for now. And I will tell you a little bit about the actual journal. It does have a rounded spine. There's lace. I love this really cute toadstool fabric. This is a postcard from a postcard book that my daughter Abby bought me last year at Mother's Day. She just knew I love mushrooms, and so she said, "Mom, I just had to get it for you. I knew you would love it." So I was so excited to be able to use one and make a cover. And these beautiful paper clip butterflies that I have sticking out of the top are actually by Tim Holtz, And I show you the very simple process to make these if you wanted some sticking out of your journal. So I'll just remove them for now. And I got those Tim Holtz butterflies at Joann's. So like I said, this will all be detailed in the tutorial that I have coming. So if I'm going too fast, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Or like I said, that tutorial is coming very, very soon. I also stuck some of those butterflies right inside the cover. If you watched one of my more recent Journal With Me episodes, it actually was my last layout in my previous journal. I have a strong connection to butterflies. Lately, they remind me of my barley. So that just made me really happy to stick in there. This page is actually from a Smokey the Bear, a very vintage like paper handout. And also at the same time that this book was headed to the trash, so was that handout. So I used it and put it all in this journal. The only paper not vintage in here are these cardstock pockets that I created. This is some vintage sheet music, and it's I Heard a Forest Praying, vintage nature pages, vintage wrapping paper. This was also Sandy's, where I got the stamps. This was also part of her collection, so it was also another nod to Sandy. Vintage ledger paper, lots of vintage tabs also. Let me just show you some of those. This is Tim Holtz, but the rest are all vintage tabs. And then this is actually a vintage Viewmaster reel that I got at an estate sale. And it actually is a petrified forest one, I believe. Yeah, petrified forest. So I gave these in my Patreon ephemera kits not long ago, and I didn't use this one because it was damaged. So I thought, you know what, I'll use it in my personal journal. These are more children's workbook pages, vintage, of course. This is a vintage bag that was sent to me in Happy Mail a few years ago. And she actually sent me two, and I hoarded this one for years now. But I thought, you know what, the time has come. This is a beautiful autumn sort of themed journal. The time has come. This book was also headed for the trash the same day as the Smokey the Bear and the cover for this journal. So these were saved. What to do with orphan bears. How cute is that? Did you guys hear about the bear that was loose in Disney World this past week? So random. Anyway, yeah, so all of the pages in here are vintage, except for this beautiful cardstock that I got at Joann's, and I love it. There's more of that Smokey the Bear. This is a vintage book page that has been floating around my bookcase forever, and so I finally thought now was the time. Let's get it into a journal. There's some type pages in here. They're very vintage. They're from 1968. You can see that they were very official. They have those punch outs. I don't know if you can see, to make them like a legal document. I had several that came out of a book at an estate sale. Oh, there's another one right there. And so rather than get rid of them, or they don't say anything that exciting. So I thought, you know what, I'll just put them in my journal, because even if I don't cover them, they're just sort of neat. So this is more of that I Heard a Forest Praying sheet music. Beautiful. Just lots of really fun stuff. I love vintage children's workbooks and highlights. So I tend to put a lot of those in there. This is more of that Smokey the Bear. I love vintage ledger paper because I quite love the way vintage ledger paper looks. And then because it's not like super special to me, it's easy to just go ahead and journal right over it. Because sometimes some of these pages are so pretty, I don't want to journal over them. But ledger paper, while it looks really beautiful at first, no problem. I'll just journal right over it. This is a leather letter folder DIY in one of those vintage children's workbooks. And I just love the coloring on there. I'm not sure if it picks it up. That is all natural. I did not distress any of that. That is just a very vintage children's workbook. And I thought the coloring was so beautiful. More of that Smokey the Bear, about trees and how to help preserve the forest. I did also put in one of these envelopes, and then I trimmed a little bit off the top so that I could have little top loading pockets to put receipts in or anything like that. I could even make more little, let me see, these little paper clip butterflies. Oh my goodness, I'm obsessed. I want a ton of them. They're just so beautiful, in my opinion. You could let me know what you think. There's that I Heard a Forest Praying, and then just one more pocket. I thought these would be great to put extra pictures in or anything like that that I want to keep. And a last bit of that apple. All of this cardstock is from the same collection. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but when I have the DIY for the journal posted, I detail exactly what the paper pad name is. And I also detail where I got everything. So if you were looking for an aged tape tutorial, you can find that on TikTok. I will link it down below. But that is my new personal journal. I am so in love with it. I think that it is exactly what I need for the fall. It's going to be just enough space. It's going to be inspiring because right now I think we're all very excited to get back into that sweater weather and all of that sort of good stuff. And I was very excited to finish with a charm that I think suits the journal perfectly. So I hope you like this video. Like I said, stay tuned for those tutorials. They are coming very soon. I'm so excited to bring them to you so that if you were interested in upcycling a book, let's save all of those books that are going to the landfills, folks. We can do it together. So like this video, that helps my channel out so much. Please subscribe, save this video if you want to come back to see the tutorials, the supply lists, everything you need to know about how I made the charm and the journal. So thank you so very much. If you're looking for additional content, lives, and tutorials, please head over to my Patreon. We'd love to have you there. You also receive monthly mail from me. And I would just love to chat with you and get to know you better. So have a really good one. Thank you so much for watching, friends. I appreciate each and every one of you. Your views, comments, likes, none of them go unnoticed. I am absolutely grateful to be a part of this community, and I am truly honored to be able to bring content to you. So have a really wonderful week. Thank you for watching. Bye.